following is brought to you by the National.Buzz, DavesPaper.com, and Maine Reel Media.com. Jacob Smalley, welcome back to Lincoln, Maine.
Thanks. Good to be here.
How long has it been since the last time you were here?
I think it was about 2 years ago, maybe a little more. Yeah.
I'd like to rewind just a little bit.
Sure.
You and me, we have a little history.
We do.
I was a contractor.
Right.
You were Haskell.
Yep.
And I don't remember how it came about, but we got talking about music.
Right.
You had just written a song, recorded it. You had put it on a thumb drive. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And said, hey, listen to this.
That was a little bit ago.
That was a bit ago.
Yeah.
I was blown away. But I remember asking you, why in the hell were you working here?
Mm-hmm.
And you told me you had injured your finger
Yes.
in a woodworking accident.
I did indeed.
There you go.
That one is that much too short.
Did you ever think from that day you would be here where you're at today?
I did not. No, I stopped playing music for 14 years, and it took an old friend forcing me to come out and do an open mic and start singing again. You know, and then I realized, well, I can do this and not play guitar. You know, I played a bunch of different instruments, but guitar was my primary. And, you know, I still play guitar now, but it's pretty limited, you know. I have no feeling in the first three fingers on my left hand, so makes fretting chords kind of difficult.
Right.
But yeah,
right.
so no, I did not think I'd be doing this again, and certainly not on this level.
Do you remember what that song was that you...
I honestly, I don't.
It was something about a veteran. I can remember that.
Oh, yeah, it was probably a song I wrote, that's like 18 years ago kind of stuff, but I think it was a Soldier's Farewell. I think
that's it. That's it. How many songs have you written since then? Because you're quite the songwriter.
Yeah, hundreds. You know, I write stuff all the time, and some of it just ends up on the cutting room floor and I never record it, and then others I'm like, I need to go now and cut this and, you know, get it out. So
what pushed you to keep pursuing music even though it wasn't easy?
It's just it's always been my greatest love. You know, it's the thing that I would do this, and I do this with nobody there. You know, it's fun when there's a crowd that's enjoying what you're doing, but I do this every single morning. First thing I wake up in the morning is a cup of coffee and my guitar, and I do that for 2 hours until the wife screams at me and says, you know, we're trying to sleep here.
You know, I had someone tell me that back in '99.
Yeah.
His name was G.E. Smith. Ever hear of him?
Yep.
He said pretty much the same thing you just said.
If it's in your blood, it's just in your blood. You got to keep doing it.
Many artists have a breakthrough moment. What was yours?
Yeah, so about a year ago, I wrote a song called Sober. And it was just a song about addiction and overcoming addiction and recovery, and I really did not think it was that good of a song. It was just kind of a personal thing, and I put an acoustic video on Facebook, and a week later it had over 3 million views on the video, and literally hundreds of thousands of people reached out to me about this song. And at that point I went, okay, I should probably go record this, and it's kind of blown up from there. So.
You recently performed or opened for Aaron Tippin and Trace Adkins.
Yep.
Tell us what that was like.
Yeah, July 4th at Ozark Amphitheater in Missouri, we opened the show for them in front of about 8,000 people. It was a pretty cool moment, you know, to walk out on the stage with those guys who I grew up listening to, you know. It's a pretty cool moment.
What did you learn from them, that experience?
I guess that we're actually all the same. You know, and it's money and big fancy buses that separate us, but in the long run, they're just like, there's no difference. We're all artists. We're all in love with performing and singing, and it's just, and they'll tell you the same thing. You know, it's so cool to meet you, and they're like, yeah, well, it's so cool to meet you too. You know, you're a human being just like me.
Right.
But you know, in the moment, you know, we look at them as as superstars or as gods or whatever, and you know, they don't want to be seen as that, honestly.
No.
You know, it probably gets old. They just want to be talked to like people.
It must be quite a rush to get on stage, singing your song, and watching the energy, watching the crowd react.
Yeah.
Feel the energy. What's that like?
Yeah, it is pretty wild. I released a song I wrote to country radio last year that ended up charting on Music Row's country breakout charts, and I didn't realize, I guess, how much of an impact that had on my music career. And we opened a show for Gary Allen that year, and when I went out and started performing this song, I'm looking at the people down front, they're singing my song, and it was like, how do you know my song? You know, it's on the radio, and it doesn't even click in your head that there's thousands and thousands of people that are listening to your music all the time. You don't even know it.
What was your feeling when that?
Oh, it's overwhelming. I mean, it almost moves you to tears. It's like, it's just the strangest thing to realize that there's people all over the country that know your music and love your music, but I mean, you don't know how much of an impact it actually has.
Right.
So you see it like that.
Your music often touches on patriotism, American experience.
Sure.
Why is that important to you?
I guess it's just where I grew up and how I grew up. You know, my grandfather was on a submarine in World War II, and you know, my brother's a Marine, and my father-in-law's a Marine. I guess that it's just kind of part of my upbringing and lifestyle, and there's nowhere else I'd rather live, so I love singing about this country, you know.
As a songwriter, where do your ideas come from? And are there certain experiences, people, places that keep showing up in your lyrics?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain songs that, you know, I had a really good experience or a really bad experience in my life, and I will write about those things almost as a release. You know, I wrote a song called Never Again that is just, everyone thinks it's written about, you know, my ex-wife or something like this. It is not. You know, I just went through a really bad time in my life, and that song that's where the inspiration came from. It was like a release from that traumatic experience.
Kind of like therapy?
Yeah, it is. It's therapeutic to be able to sing it out of you, I guess, you know, rather than just hold on to it. But yeah, and a lot of times I just messing around on the guitar and a melody will come to me, and then I don't even honestly understand how it happens. It's just like words fall out of the air sometimes, and you end up with a song an hour later.
How would you describe the Jacob Smalley sound to someone who's never heard your music?
It's very, I would say that it's very 90s, early 2000s country sounding, but with more of a rock and roll edge to it, I guess. You know, we're definitely lean on country, but with a lot of energy, you know.
Tell us about your band. How did you all come together? What's the dynamic like on stage, off stage?
It's very magical. I am really blessed to have really good guys behind me now. Unfortunately, some of my full-time members were not able to make it. Their plane never took off in Missouri. So I fortunately had a pretty solid band here in Maine before I left, and those guys just jumped right in, and they're going to fill in for them like nothing ever happened. So
what's it going to be like to play with your former bandmates?
Oh, it's cool. Yeah, we played last night together for the first time in probably 3 years, and it was like we'd never stopped playing. You know?
Wow. You do have roots here in Maine.
Yep.
How does your home state shape who you are as a person and as an artist?
That's an interesting question. I don't actually know. I mean, I guess Maine is a value state, you know, and where I live now is actually in a lot of ways very similar to Maine, you know, as far as the people you know, politically speaking, we're very, very different. But you know, as far as the population and the people, it's good people, just like Maine.
How does success look like for you now?
I mean, I have goals. I have like things that I want to achieve, and then I would consider that I've been successful now. But when I look at that, I think that bar moves all the time. You know, if you had told me that I was going to play shows with my musical heroes, you know, 5 years ago, I would never have believed that. That used to be my goal. And Aaron Lewis, for instance, a guy that you know, from Stained, and then the Aaron Lewis Band, and all this great music. I just respected that man so much. I played a show with him last year, and there again, the goal just keeps getting pushed up. So, I mean, right now we're looking at the Grand Ole Opry. That's kind of our next plateau I'd like to stop off at, you know. So we'll see what happens.
That would be magical.
It would be amazing.
That would be magical. What's one artist out there right now that you would love to perform with?
Travis Tritt. And he's not current, you know, but he's very current.
Yeah.
If you go watch his show, he's as good as he ever was in the 90s, and that's definitely one that would be on the top.
For young musicians watching this, especially those from small towns, what advice would you give them about chasing their dream?
Just chase it. There's no magical step that gets you anywhere. If you just don't, if it's not, like I said, if it's not in your DNA to just keep doing it, even if no one's watching, just give it up, because it's got to be in your blood. If it's in your blood and you just keep doing it, it will happen. You know, it takes time. I've been doing this for 22 years now. Yeah. I took a break, but it's been 22.
Play one song for the whole world to hear right now. What would it be and why?
I think it would be the song that I wrote, Sober. I really do. Just because of the massive impact that song had on so many people so fast. I was shocked. You know, usually it takes hundreds of thousands of dollars in promotion and everything to achieve what that song did in a matter of a week all by itself, and I think there's just a lot of people that benefited from that.
Isn't the power of social media just...
It's incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it allows me to connect with record producers and record labels and people that I would never ever have access to. Yeah. We're gonna go in the studio in August and cut a new song that I just wrote with Travis Tritt's band because of social media. You know, I've reached out to some band members and started a relationship back and forth, and one thing led to another. They're gonna cut my next album. It's kind of crazy.
That is. That is.
I would love for him to come in and sing on a couple of tracks, but we'll see what happens.
You never know. You never know. You've got quite a fan base here in Maine.
Sure.
What would you like to say to them?
I guess I would just say thank you for always supporting what I'm doing and you know, believing that I could do this when I didn't believe I could do this, you know. It's hard. It's really easy to get discouraged when you just keep banging your head against the same old wall over and over and over, and door never opens up. And it takes something magical or somebody reaching out to make that door open. Doesn't matter how good you are or how long you've been doing it. It's a very hard business to break into.
I guess just one follow-up question, and stop me if I've already asked this.
Sure.
But your single, Sober.
Yep.
What triggered that? What caused you to write that?
Sure. Literally, I was in a I went through a really bad period in my life, and I used alcohol to get through the day. You know, it was not something that I wouldn't consider myself needing to go into rehab or anything like that. It just was, I'm going to take the edge off, and it was constant. And I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning pretty hungover one time, and I just literally stumbled to the kitchen to get a glass of water, and I just said, I just want to be sober. And it was like a subconscious Not meaning like, I have a problem, I need to stop drinking. It was just in that moment, I wanted to be sober. I felt like hell. It was just like, and I literally stopped, and I was like, that could be something. That could be a song, because how many other people feel that way? So I scratched down the chorus of the song, and the next morning I got up and did what I always did, which was sit down with a glass of whiskey to start the day, right? And that led me into the first verse of, I started one more Sunday with a whiskey in my hand. And one thing led to another, and that's how that song came about. And there's a second verse in there, talking about leaving your daughter's school soccer game drunk, and you get in a car accident, and that changes your life. None of that happened to me. That was just
that's where the road could take you.
That's where the road goes if you just keep letting it go and go. Yeah. So that's the vein the song took, and I just cannot believe how many people related to that song. It was unbelievable.
You, pun intended, you struck a chord.
Yeah.
You really did. Do you consider yourself more of a songwriter than a musician, or vice versa?
I love to write songs, but it's not ever been something that really comes easy. I have to work at it, or I have to be inspired by something to write. I know guys in Nashville that they can sit down and they'll write 6 or 8 songs in a day just for no reason at all. They just sit down and write them. And they do that 6 days a week. And they have written thousands and thousands and thousands of songs. I cannot do that. I have to have some inspiration in order to spur me into that artistic moment. And there are days, honestly, where I'm in that place and I'll write 3 songs in a day, and then I won't write another one for 2 years,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, thanks for coming back to Maine.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Lincoln. We got quite a crowd here tonight. You got a band that's warming up for you, warming the crowd up, and I'm sure it's touching to you to see the amount of people out there waiting
pretty
for you
incredible.
to take the stage.
Yep.
So
very exciting.
It's good seeing you again.
You as well, sir.
Yeah.
I started one more Sunday with a whiskey in my hand, instead of on my knees, and I don't understand. The thing that's supposed to drown my pain is slowly drowning me. There's gotta be another way. Someone set me free. I just wanna be sober and learn to live again. I wanna be sober and stop letting down my friends. My baby girls look up to me. I'm trying to raise a family. I've got to get this gone before it's over. I wanna be sober. I left your soccer game last Monday with a 5th down on the floor. I never saw the stop sign or that truck hit my right door. And as the tire screamed and the glass flew, I looked up to the sky. Said, damn it, if you're listening, please don't let me die. I just wanna get sober. I wanna learn to live again. I wanna get sober. Stop letting down my friends. A better man, I swear I'll be. I'll be there for my family. God, please don't let this end here on this shoulder. 'Cause I wanna get sober. I wanna get sober. I wanna learn again. I'm gonna get sober. So I remember where I've been. My family's still here with me. My best days are in front of me. This wall I'm climbing's high, but I'll get over. 'Cause I'm gonna get sober. I'm gonna get sober. I'm gonna get sober. I'm gonna stay sober. I'm gonna stay sober.